everybody, Monica Sloppy here, registered dietitian, nutritionist, and the founder of My New Nutrition. And today I'm going to teach you 3 key nutrients that all plant-based athletes, really every athlete, but especially plant-based athletes, really need to pay attention to in their nutrition. And to do that, I'm going to be demoing a fun, easy recipe that I'm putting together with just a couple of ingredients. But before I dive into the nutrients, into the ingredients, and the step-by-steps, we have to have the right tools to make this. And there's nothing more frustrating to me than picking a recipe, getting all excited, going out, buying the ingredients, and then coming home and being like, dang it, I don't have this certain tool. So you might have these and you're like, you know, of course I have those, Monica, but not everybody does. So let me tell you what you need. Number 1, you're going to need a muffin tin. This is just your typical 12 standard muffin tin. And you're going to also want some sort of like an oven mitt. I'm using a very thick towel, but an oven mitt is the safest way to remove hot items from your stove or oven. You're going to need a large chef's knife. And quick little trick about chef's knives, if you can see in the handle the metal part, or maybe there's 3 dots, that's a good indicator that the knife is one piece and safer. So I would recommend having 1 large chef's knife. Get comfortable using it, of course. You're going to need a spoon. You're going to need a lemon zester. Technically optional. If you don't want to add the lemon zest, you don't really need this, but it definitely pops the flavor. And a veggie peeler. You'll also need a cutting board to slice up the fruit. So let's start talking about the ingredients that you're going to need. The ingredients you're going to start off with are going to be tortillas. I'm using corn tortillas. It is a gluten-free option, but if somebody is preferring another grain, whole wheat is another good one, or cassava. Then I'm going to be using some cinnamon and honey powder. I have water, and then I'm going to mix Forager's cashew milk yogurt, which is a dairy-free yogurt, with some of the fruits that I have here and a little bit of vegan protein powder. It's just a standard vanilla vegan protein powder, and if you are supplementing with protein powder and you are an athlete, you really need to make sure that it's NSF certified. That way you know you're getting a pure product. So the first step you're going to do is you're going to take a brush. Oh, this is another tool you'll need. You'll need a brush. Then pour some of the water onto the tortilla, and then sprinkle a little bit of cinnamon onto that tortilla. And then from there, you're going to want to get this into the muffin tin. And it doesn't have to be perfect. We're really just creating little cups here for the fruit and the yogurt. And the reason why I'm choosing to do a tortilla is because carbohydrates are super important for athletes. Carbohydrates are really the preferred fuel source for really every single human being, but athletes use carbohydrates a lot. Anytime you're doing something explosive or something at a higher intensity level, you're going to be using a lot of carbohydrates. So I always counsel my athletes on getting enough carbohydrates. We want to choose slower digesting carbohydrates, so ones that are higher in fiber and a little bit slower digesting. Now, of course, that's recommended for maybe 2 to 3 hours out of a workout. If you're getting closer to a workout, you want to limit that fiber. So this snack in particular would be great about 2 hours before a workout, and the carbohydrates are going to be provided not just from the tortilla, but we also have some of this dairy-free yogurt and the fresh fruit. So I'm going to start mixing up the filling that's going to go in these cups, and I'm going to use one of these Forager dairy-free yogurts. This is a cashew milk yogurt, so let me just read the ingredients. It's cashew milk, which is waters and cashews, tapioca starch, which is like used as a thickener. We've got locust bean gum, coconut cream, live and active cultures. That's it. So it really makes for a really good texture. And again, if you are a plant-based athlete, you're going to want to find easy alternatives for the common protein sources. Yogurt's very common, so there are dairy-free yogurts out there. I will say that in comparison, the yogurt for plant-based yogurts isn't exactly as high. So I am adding protein powder, again, NSF certified vegan vanilla protein powder, and then I'm just going to mix it in with the yogurt. It's going to give it a nice flavor. It's also going to bump up the protein value a little bit. And there is 3 grams of protein in this container, and I always try to counsel my athletes on getting at least 15 to 30 maybe even a little more than 30 if their needs are high, through every single meal and snack. So by adding about a scoop of protein powder that has anywhere from 15 to 25 grams, you're definitely gonna meet that goal. And then I'm just gonna stir it up so that it creates a good consistency. And I have about 4 cups here, and I'm only using 1 cup of yogurt. This is more so going to make about 2 servings, but I just wanted to show you how easy it is to really make this, so that way you can start meal prepping this. Forager does come in larger containers. I just happen to get the single serving sizes, which are really convenient, again, for athletes who are on the go. So stirring this all up, and it's all incorporated. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna start to fill in my little taco cup here. So we're going to be making these fresh fruit tacos, and just gonna ladle that in. If you're finding that you are struggling to get protein in your diet and carbohydrates, again, this is another great recipe to try. It's also fun to eat, fun to make. And that leads me to, of course, my second important nutrient to talk about, protein. But the reason I talk about carbs first is because carbohydrates spare protein. So as a plant-based athlete, you're gonna have to focus on getting enough protein in your diet, of course, and it might be a little bit more challenging than eating animal products. However, we have ways we can add protein powder. So that's why I'm using it in this recipe to show you it's not just protein shakes, right? We can actually mix it into something else and make it part of the recipe. And now it's going to be time to just kind of decorate these tacos. So let's get right on into it. I'm using these 3 fruits. I chose citrus, sumo citrus, strawberries, and kiwis. The reason I chose these fruits in particular is because they're all very high in vitamin C. And vitamin C is super important, especially again for the plant-based athlete, because as a plant-based athlete, iron is going to be something that's a little bit more limited in your diet. Absolutely, you can get it through nuts, through seeds. If you eat eggs, you can get it through the egg yolk. But if you're not getting enough vitamin C, then you're not getting the maximum benefits. So vitamin C is going to help facilitate the absorption of iron, and that's why I'm using kiwi fruit. Just 1 kiwi fruit or 2 smaller ones will provide over your daily value of vitamin C. And then strawberries are also extremely high in vitamin C. And berries are also heavily researched. They're good for your brain, they're good for fiber intake. And then I'm also adding sumo citrus. I love adding sumo citrus because it's such a good seedless citrus fruit, and citrus is also high in vitamin C, and it carries a lot of water. As an athlete, you really need to pay attention to your hydration, because that alone can keep you from feeling best at your performance, whether you're training or at a game, and you need to stay hydrated. And so here we go. This is our fruit taco. That is 1 serving, and you can have up to 2 servings if you want to have 4 servings, depending on how many calories, proteins, carbs, and fats you need in your day. And that is it. That's how easy it is to assemble. From everything, it took me 10 minutes to bake, and it took me about 5 minutes, maybe a little more because I'm talking, to get this assembled. And that is it. I've got a nice snack ready to go, and it's going to be a perfect pre-workout snack for something about 2 hours away. So always remind yourself to fuel throughout the day, protein throughout every single meal, and before a workout, about 2 hours, have a meal. And then if you're closer to a workout, you might want to have something just a little bit smaller than this. So you maybe have 1 of these, or maybe you skip the tortilla just to have a little bit easier digestion. And that is it. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. If you want more, just let me know, and I am looking forward to the next recipe video.